I didn't know this was going to come up now, but there's been something circling about generational, intergenerational, ancestral healing and things like that. And when we go into this space where we're looking at how other people have influenced us and things like that, it's important that we don't blame. And I can only talk from my own lived experiences because I don't want to negate certain things that happen to other people that I have no idea about and that are potentially I was going to say unforgivable, but everything, well, I can't speak for other people, so I was going to say everything should be forgivable because we don't want to take on that heavy energy through our healing process. But when we look at those around us or people that we, are our parents, and whether those parents have good relationships with their partners or not, and basically something's coming up about how certain people are using children as go-betweens or as pawns or tools in getting back at partners and things, which is really toxic and quite disgusting. And some it's done innocently, it's just done out of wounding and wanting to just continually label somebody as this XYZ, and that's how they speak about that person to their children and things like that. And when children hear stories about their parents from the other parents, it's obviously going to affect them because they are 50% that person. So whether that parent has been a good parent or not, however that partner views it, it is going to be a different relationship because, one, they're not the partner of that person, they are the child. And we are made up of two people. We come from two people. So whether the person is present or not, this is a bit of a mishmash, but whether I share it or not, but it's something that seems to be coming through because there's things that I'm observing in conversations that I'm having around people that are going through massive life changes, big decisions regarding families, life, marriage, divorce, partnerships, and children. And someone I know is like a very conscious parent and said something beautiful recently. I can't remember what we were actually talking about, but it was, she said, ultimately, whatever my views are or however that person acts, please forgive that person because they are your parent and you are 50% of them. And so please connect with that healing journey now, i.e. don't push the idea of that person being your parental figure, especially if they've not been, an abusive parent or anything like that, because, and I mean, well, abuse comes in a variety of ways, emotional, physical, so I can't speak for other people, but this story that was shared to me, and I just thought, we need more of this and this comes from our own healing journey, we need more of this conscious awareness around, talking shit about the parents of our children, because it influences that person's view of self, their relationship to self, and the inner child healing process, and the parental wound, mother wound, father wound. And so for me, hearing this conscious parent say, regardless of what the opinion is, please forgive this person because you are of them also. And so whether we decide we like that person or not, this is shadow work. All of the stuff that we negate or push and repress goes into our shadows. And those shadows, you know, I think it was Jung that was talking about anything that's subconscious that we don't address becomes the conscious part. I can't remember the exact quote, sorry, it's early and something just distracted me. If we don't address the subconscious mind, it becomes, you know, the driving force for our lives. And the more that we put all this negative stuff on a parental figure, it just builds the shadows. And so we can have views and observations around things, but these judgments and opinions, I can't speak for anybody else, only stories that have kind of been shared with me over this learning curve of mine, this past 4 years really, is and you know, I know people that don't have parents on this realm, and then they're going through their own inner child healing and the forgiveness around that, and not being able to say or share or speak to that person ever again. It's quite incredible, the realizations that I'm seeing appear in the collective consciousness. And so it's important that the more that we create these issues for another person to be spiteful, or because we're still wounded and we continue to talk about this stuff and have this victim mentality, and we're projecting our feelings and hurt onto other people that may have experienced hurt differently, 646, is we're just creating a cycle. So this is the year of that number 8. We're battering the cycles. We can obviously never speak to those people again, still know what they did, but the pain and the wounding stops. It becomes less of an opinion and the judgment, and maybe just, you know, becomes an observation in that person was a narc, had their own this, that and the other, not excusing behaviour, but just observing why things occurred the way they did. How did we potentially create situations where we didn't put up boundaries? And I'm not saying I'm excusing abuse or any form like that, but there's always two people in a dynamic. So yeah, probably lots to say more really, but I just want to shout out to the people that I know and love that are breaking the cycles really, and are stopping that behaviour from moving down the lineage.